finally, after what is like, a month since the last episode of Cuckshack, we're finally back in business. So let's start this shit off with the very first day of Anthrocon. You guys have any reflections of that shit? So Thursday. First Thursday of Anthrocon.
The only first Thursday of Anthrocon.
Oh my god. Driving into Pittsburgh was an absolute fucking nightmare. Trying to find a parking space. The 10-hour drive was long. Decided to drive through the night.
What about Rage?
Flying into Philadelphia.
You call that bad? I didn't even go to the right state.
I literally thought that you had flown to Philadelphia. You're like, oh, dude, yeah, I'm getting Discord messages blowing up. He's like, oh, dude, I messed up so badly. And I'm like, he's like, I booked my flight to Philadelphia. I was like, dude, you flew to Philadelphia. I was like, oh my god, no.
No, it's just, I was standing in line at the airport, and I'm reading, like, I wasn't, like, in my head, I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm just sitting there, and they're like, okay, everybody line up, by your whatever, your seat number. And they're like, all right, now boarding to Philadelphia. And that's when it clicked. I'm like, wait.
Well, that doesn't sound wrong.
No. I go up to the lady at the desk. I'm like, this is going to Philadelphia, not Pittsburgh, right? I mean, this isn't going to Pittsburgh? She's like, no, this is Philadelphia. I mean, get in line so you can get on the flight. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be going there. I'm supposed to be going to Pittsburgh. So I ended up, freaking out because it's like, shit, I'm not gonna be able to go now. Fuck, I'm screwed. But no, luckily, oh my god, and the weirdest thing happened is that I was flying Delta. And Delta has a major call center that lives, it's around 15 miles from where I live. And I called in, I'm like, hey, listen, this is my name, blah, blah, blah. I got the wrong flight. But the lady at Delta actually knew who I was. And so that was the craziest thing. And they luckily changed it all for me, but yes, I made it. So it was wonderful.
Crisis averted.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile, you're panic texting Griff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I was so worried I'm going to have to cancel everything. Because it's like, I don't know if I can't make it. Fuck, what am I going to do?
Hey, you were texting me, dude, and I had been driving for 10 hours. I had been up for like 26 hours straight. And I was like passing out, and I wasn't responding, and I was like, oh my god, I felt so bad. Oh shit, Rage is having a crisis. And I had finally gotten there, and I'd gone up to the room, and Kate and Jason were asleep. So I was like trying to, well, you guys were like resting or whatever. I was trying to be quiet, but it ended up, so I went downstairs. So after I got done talking to you, Rage, I went downstairs. So after being up for 26, 27 hours, I had all kinds of like, Adderall and my Vyvanse and coffee and Magnum sized monsters and stuff driving. And fucking, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go down and register and just go ahead and get that out of the way. And I walked out and had to ask about 6 people, feeling extremely like weird, asking people, where do I go? Because I had no idea. I've never been there before. So I finally made it to registration, and I saw the line that was, I don't know, several thousand people in line, and I was like, okay, this doesn't look good. And then there was like, oh no, if you've already pre-registered on the website, you can go down to that line. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I walked through the lobby or whatever, and I go down to the other end, and I'm looking at the line, and it's about half as long. And I'm like, okay. So I went over there and stood in line, and 5 minutes later, I was like, my eyes are falling, and I'm like kind of leaning over against the wall, and I'm like, nope, I'm going to bed.
Is that when I come to play?
The pre-reg line the following day actually wasn't that bad. We got it done in like a minute. At least for the sponsor.
I was about to say,
like, even for the regular. Like, you didn't take that long either, though, just being regular, right?
Right, no, it didn't. Well, that was the following day. Yeah, we went down there, and everybody had already, like, and to register on Thursday. When we went down on Friday, you guys got registered in less than a minute.
What a great time to turn into a robot, anyway. Like, I went down and got my badge.
Yeah, I was sometimes I get it fixed.
Let's give someone else a chance to talk while Griff figures out what his fucking robotic issue is. Rage, why don't you tell us how your first day went when you actually got to the con, like your nerves, like being... Everyone has like first con jitters. How do you explain that?
Holy shit. Yeah, no, it was weird. When Griff came to get me, walked out of the parking garage, and we walked around a corner, and it was like 2 dudes in fursuits. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, I've been in the fandom for 14 years, and I have never seen another furry in real life. So it was kind of weird. Like, the thoughts in my head were like, what the fuck am I doing here? I don't know what to do. I mean, I don't relate to like any of these guys, I'm pretty sure. This is crazy. You know, then I walk into the lobby and it's just packed. Like, I've never seen anything like it before. No, it was a great feeling. Once you get, the realization that everybody's there for the same reason and nobody cares that you are a furry. I know that's a weird thing to say, but, a lot of people have negative, perceptions on furries, but
Yeah.
so, it was great. Once you finally figure out nobody cares, they're just here to have a fun time. Everybody's goofing around. Put on my first fursuit head. That was Kate's. It's weird. It's different. I gotta say, I've never done anything like it before, but no, I absolutely loved it.
Smelled stinky.
Yes, like normal.
Got all stinkied up for you.
Tasty.
Did you have like a particular moment that you felt like, oh wait, I do not belong here? Like at first, before you got over it, was there something you saw, or like someone saying something or behaving a certain way that kind of triggered it?
Yeah, it was more of like people outside barking and yipping, and I'm like, oh,
Yipping?
yeah, I'm like, fuck.
They were yipping outside?
Yes, I'm like, no, please, no.
Can you describe to us verbally what a yip sounds like?
I think we all know what that sounds like.
Well, come on, for the listeners, they might be curious.
Demonstration.
They're out there like, yip, yip, yip. I'm like,
Oh man, I'm gonna have to turn down the game on my mic.
Oh god.
I'm like, you know what? I understand that's what you like, but it's the cringiest thing ever. I mean, yeah, that's about it.
Well, I think that's one of the beauties of going to conventions. And I don't sound like a robot anymore, do I?
No, you
Okay,
can't.
good. So one of the beauties of going to conventions in general, not just furry conventions, but the one thing that's so beautiful about it is everyone is there for a reason. Everybody's there because everybody shares a love of something. And it's like one of those places that you can go and be comfortable in whatever your fandom is, and nobody judges you for it. Like that's one of the things that I really like about it. And it's the one thing that's drawn me, especially to the furry conventions and stuff, is the fact that, I'm there, I have the love for the, fandom, and it's like I feel like I'm part of a big family, and it's like that for an entire weekend straight.
Actually, I think the only people that haven't had their first convention was me, Kate, and Griff. Like, Chaz, it was your first as well, right?
I counted as my first. I went to Anthrocon New England in Boston, but that one was so small in comparison, you can't really compare the two at the same level. But it was a lot better than I was expecting. I'll say that. I felt like Annie was too much furry. It was too small. Just personally, I felt like it wasn't hostile, but it wasn't like Pittsburgh where everybody's used to it. I could see that immediately as soon as I walked outside. The locals were really chill about everything. It was a lot easier to take in than walking into the lobby of A&E Con, just being like, oh my god, what is happening right now? It was a lot better experience.
What about you slippery little fucking quiet devils down there, coughing tech? Was your first cons too, wasn't it?
First furry con, but not my first. I've been to plenty of gaming conventions and anime cons before this.
Describe the comparison.
The high.
Well, there's less video games and there's more furries, I guess. If I could put
No,
it down to
there's a decent amount of furries at MagFest, although that's a convention I wouldn't suggest going to unless you have a plan. Like, if you have a group want to do stuff, it's great, but it's clearly a fan convention where there's not, like, you can breeze through without a plan. You're just like, I'm done. I've only been here for 3 hours. That was worth a 2-hour drive. But they're definitely more hygienic at Anthrocon, surprisingly. Yeah.
You'd think they'd be more like sticky and crusty than anything.
That's
Not compared to anime conventions like Otakon.
some weird smells, man. I was not ready for that.
Speaking of weird smells and like hygiene issues, like, hey, Koth, you want to talk about how you nearly broke our damn toilet? In the
No.
No, I don't.
It wasn't. I don't think it was Koth's fault though. I mean, it was.
No.
It was a
Yeah,
backup
he was just-
upstairs.
He was the fall guy. He was the fucking scapegoat.
Yeah. It's all Cott's fault.
As far as comparing to other conventions goes, the only other big one I've been to was Otakon, and it's pretty much the same thing. Bunch of people in costumes, but at Otakon, instead of random awooing, there's just random like people yelling lines from like some meme or something. It's just as cringy. So.
Lovely. Yeah, I guess all the conventions kind of follow a bit of a formula.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, Koth, you still haven't described how your impression of the convention was.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I don't know. I didn't really have expectations. I had no idea what to expect really, other than a bunch of furries walking around. But it was pretty good. I think that it was helped a lot by just being able to hang out with you guys, because if I had been there, just with tech and we've been walking around, I think we would have been like done within like 2 hours. I'm like, wow, this was a good waste of money and time.
It definitely helps to have like a group to kind of help you around. When Jay and I went to our first convention, which was like Vernal Equinox in oh my god, 2015
Yeah,
or
whatever,
something.
anyway.
But anyways, we got there. We didn't know anybody. We had never seen furries in real life before, and like we just had this guy come up to us that made the worst like impression of the community that you could ever fucking
Oh,
fathom.
not even that. I
Like-
remember distinctly it was a rage moment where like I was sitting in the lobby waiting to get our room and there was people yipping.
Yeah,
Exactly
yeah,
like
it was
he
the
talking.
yippers too.
Doing Naruto
I forgot
runs
about
back
that.
and forth. Like the convention doesn't even start for another day yet, but they're already like building up and like yelling and fucking
Hype.
carrying it
Hype.
on.
Yeah, but we went back to the fucking room that night and we both just started
I had
crying.
an
'cause-
existential fucking
Oh my
crisis.
God.
Yeah,
What
we're
the
like,
fuck am I
what are we
doing with my life? I do not
doing?
belong here. Did I
Like-
make a mistake for the last 2 years of my life? What am I doing?
Yeah, it was really bad. But like it ended up getting better because we found a group that we could
It's
like
funny,
hang around with.
the
but-
very people that I thought were like cringy and like making a bad impression of the community, because we went to the like, so you're a furry, like welcome to the furry community kind of panel thing,
Mhm.
because that's what you're expected to do. After that, it turned out that they were the head people of Camp Feral, and that camp is actually really cool and chill. So I think it's just a matter of like, they've become so comfortable in the community after so many years that it's just second nature to them to be very high energy and stuff. But if you're new, that can be very overwhelming.
Mhm.
Remember one of the most, speaking of like awkward first impressions, after I met up with you guys, one of the first things that happened was someone in like this big fursuit came over to us and wanted to like shake all of our hands, but instead of like doing the normal human thing by like holding out their hand to, like so you could shake it, they held out their hand, like their giant pod fursuit, just like flat, like parallel with the ground, and I was just so confused at what to do. Like, do you want me to like touch your paw? What do you want me to do?
Do you kiss it? Do you want me to like bow down? What are we doing?
Yeah, what are we
Do
doing
I,
here?
do I put my head under it or what? Do I get pat like a good dog?
Yeah, he just stayed there staring at me with his hand out toward me for a solid like minute, and I was so confused.
But I have to agree that having a group helps, because when I went to FWA, like I didn't know anybody, and luckily I did find Jason and Kate and hung out with them for the entire weekend. Otherwise, I mean, I would have still had fun. I mean, I'll have fun at a convention no matter what, but it does help having a group. So I'll second you on that one.
And you got to be careful too, because people can pry on people that obviously look new, and they'll use social skills that they might not have developed very well to kind of take advantage of them and bring them into groups that they really won't be comfortable in. That's kind of the situation we got into in our first couple of cons. We just kind of hang out with the group that first presented themselves to us in a friendly manner without really thinking too much into it. We just wanted that inclusion. And I feel like a lot of people might slip into that.
And pretty soon it's an orgy.
The next thing
not
you know,
that kind of
you're in the splash zone.
Happens every time.
God, I'm very glad I didn't look at any fucking sex rooms this year. Like, finally, give me a break.
Yeah, I wanted to.
like,
You were like, you talking
I know,
about
I know
that.
everyone wants to. I gotta get the experience. I need to be scarred. It's like, well, do you want to be scarred? Really?
Yeah, I
You don't
did.
yet.
That's what I said, and then I immediately regretted my decision. I'm like, this is something I did not need to see.
Yeah.
Like, I really, just no.
You open the door, you
To
do the
be
180,
fair-
you're out.
Yep, that was Jason.
To
That
be
was-
fair, on the last day, we almost got some scarring, but it turned out to just be kind of like on the border of PG and not so PG. It was
Oh, you're talking about
Oh, yeah.
up in Gail's room?
Not saying any. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean they were taking photos and just having a good time and stuff. But they said that the people that were across from them, it didn't stop over there. That was
Yeah,
just
the whole
nonstop
time we're just
party.
chilling, talking
That's
to
the
people, and
worst.
just occasionally I'll glance over my shoulder to see what's up, and it just it's going wild on top of each other in a pile. I was like, yeah, alright.
I wanted
Right
to
on.
see what was going on in the room next door, because apparently, like they opened the door and there was just like a bunch of dudes just fucking each other.
Yeah, apparently that's the floor. It's like, well, I have new goals for my furry career. Get onto the
Time to go up
highest
into
floor
the
of the
penthouse
hotel
suite.
and just start my orgies and open invite.
Oh my God.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be so casual. I mean, and this is coming from me, right? So, you know, I normally don't care.
Yeah,
But-
just first it's walking in, like they already had the glowing dicks on and everything. All right, oh hi Fred, right in you go. Oh hi Stacy, in you go.
I didn't-
Just tag him in, tag him out.
I didn't go to one at AC, but I went to one at A&E, and I opened the door and I walked in, and I'm like, all right, two dudes just chilling, and that's the first thing I see, right? They're just playing Super Smash Brothers. I'm like, all right, this is chill.
That's how.
And I walk in, and I get by the little threshold where you can see the two double beds that are in the room. It's just three dudes banging. Like, hold on a second, I'm not ready for this. And yep, 180, moonwalk out of there. You never go back. I was not ready for it. It was a little too weird for me.
Is that what started it all, Chess? For you?
Oh no, I was
Me too.
corrupted years ago.
Was that the lightning that struck the inspiration? So wait,
No,
this gives me ideas. I'm gonna go pro.
Body paint and a mask, and we'll start.
what happened to you?
Sign me up. Where's the form?
It all started at the convention. Got me early.
Speaking of which, yeah, Chaz just busts out later on. It's like, oh, hey guys, yeah, I just got back from a shooting, a professional porn shooting. It'll be uploaded in a couple of weeks. Just did contracts and everything, 3 cameras and lights post and everything.
Professional's
Outfits.
extreme. Amateur. Yeah, I take pride in that amateur. But no, I walked up to you, and you and Griff were getting, I don't know, a pretzel or something in the
Kate was getting the
Store.
dick.
Oh, yeah, my
Taking the dick
giant
and me and
pretzel.
Griff was sharing a pretzel.
Well, I walked up and I'm like, all right, I gotta go leave. I gotta go paint. I don't know if I'm gonna see these guys again. I at least better say hi. And as I was reaching out to shake your hand, I realized, like, holy shit, nobody knows what I look like. So it was probably
Yeah.
super awkward. And I'm just like, hey, you know, it's me. It's scale heat, whatever. And we only chatted for a couple minutes, and then I booked out of there. But it didn't hit me until after I had already left and the parade was going on. Like, yeah, that was probably pretty weird. Yeah. It's not the foot I wanted to get started out on. But
I just asked Jay. I'm like, Jay, who was that? I mean, he seemed nice, but like, who was
It
it?
took me a minute to, like, someone farted or coughed or something when you said that scale hit. So I'm like, oh, probably just the dude. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Like, no, wait, I think that was Chaz. Yeah. I'm like, oh.
it took you a second. I could see it. And then Griff, you walked over and you did the same thing. Oh, who's this? And I said, oh yeah, it's scale heat. And then I saw your eyebrows went up and you're like, oh, okay, it is you.
You're like,
And-
what's up, man? Hey, how you doing? You know,
Oh,
just
good.
friendly as can be, man.
Like, oh, this is gonna be okay. And it was.
And then later on, we're pounding a bottle of Rumplements in the fucking room.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I still can't believe how hard that shit hit me. Like, I had one fucking shot of it, and I was just on the bed, and my head was spinning, and it was just not good.
Could you
Chad
say
and
you
I
were
killed that
gone?
bottle in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys were plastered when I walked in. The first thing I saw was Griff humping the body pillow. Like,
He was doing that so
It's like,
much.
hey,
Yeah,
Fucking
he was
Kobe
doing that.
Dacky.
What am I
Yeah,
doing?
I still hump that
why
pillow.
am I here? Yeah, walk in, humping the body pillow, and then offering me liquor. Like, all right, yeah, this is good. It's a good choice.
Man, it's hospitality. That's how you do it.
You gotta give some to get some.
That's right.
It was the Rumple and the what the hell was it? The weed infused moonshine.
Oh yeah, we
It
had
looked
the
like
green
something
dragon.
out of a spit can. Oh yeah.
The black dragon.
It looked
Tasted like
It wasn't
too.
green this time, it was black.
So I was,
The dragons come in different flavors.
man, after AC, I talked to him about it, and he was like, "You did mix that down with water, right?" I was like, "No." He was like, "Man, that was
Oh.
concentrate. You should have been drinking that stuff straight." I was like, "Well, we had a good time."
Don't worry, I'm an EMT.
Don't worry, I'm an EMT. Yeah, right.
Oh my god. No wonder we got so fucked,
Yeah.
Griff.
My whole Saturday night.
Sorry. Hey, I told you we're gonna have a good time at the con. Anytime I go, we're gonna have a great time.
Oh my god.
Pretty sure there wasn't a point where you weren't humping that donkey.
Oh yeah, man.
He wasn't doing that for show either. He was doing that in the privacy of his own room too, like when it was just me, Kate. He was still doing it.
Oh yeah, we ended up. You guys, it was such a big bed. Jay and Kate were like, "Yeah, you can come up here. I mean, it's not a big deal. I don't really care." So I brought the dacky up. I literally got the dacky.
That was a
between
separator.
Kate, I'm like sleeping with it.
It was like a dog crawling on the bed. Just hopped up
Yeah.
there.
Well, he originally asked for a wall scroll because we said we're going to bring one up. We forgot. So we went down to our ported press table. It was like, "Do you have any?" He's like, "Nope, but we do have dackies." Like, "Well, Griff, guess what?"
Bird, dick, and balls. I was like, "Say no more. I'll take one." Oh man, Becky's sitting over there on my bed right now.
Should hump it.
Don't worry, he's not
So
crusty.
did-
It's okay.
So did your mom literally see the dacky when she was like doing a flip?
Oh my god. Oh Jesus. Yeah, well, she did, but I made sure that I pointed it out. I made it a point to point it out.
Do you want to go into detail about that a little bit for the viewers at home, or not? Really? About the whole,
I mean,
like-
okay, so, man, while I was gone, I asked my mother to come over and watch my animals for me while I was gone, and I have kind of a room off to the side of my room that's kind of like a special room that has, I had some stuff on there. It's kind of like an altar set up. I had a bunch of stuff I've collected over the years, some crystals and some wands and stuff that I had made, and just, little knickknacks here and there, jewelry, books and stuff that, herbal medicine, all that kind of stuff. And I came back and all of it had been destroyed. So she kind of defiled the room, and all over religion, of course. And
So do you think she was doing this even prior to realizing that you were like coming out as gay, or did she just do that because it was the devil's work?
it was the devil's work. And the thing was, I came out to her on my birthday and told her about me. And at that point, it was like she was okay. And I was like, all right, this is cool. This is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And apparently I was mistaken. So...
Yeah, it was probably bullshit. She probably was just like bottling it up, and this was her like vent. She saw your stuff and then just flipped.
Yeah, well, I think it had more to do with the religion than the being gay part. But afterwards, like, the huge talk that we had was a lot about being gay, and
Well, from what you told me, yeah, saying it's
Yeah.
like
fucking basically metaphorically bashing me with the Bible, and it was really bad. It's really bad. But so I pulled together. I started a GoFundMe, and the lovely, wonderful, just loving fur community really came through and really helped me out with that. And it's just been, I've literally, like, every time I would get a donation, like, I would almost go into tears, because it's so, like, emotionally overwhelming that so many people that don't even know me, like, I had people like messaging me on Discord, people I didn't even know that were sending me messages. I had notes coming through on FA. I had Twitter DMs coming through with just people that were like, "Hey man, I donated," or, "Hey, I didn't have any money, but I wanted to let you know I retweeted," or I just wanted to let you know that to stay strong, man, and you'll get through this and everything's good. And just the words of encouragement and inspiration and stuff that came from everybody was just absolutely breathtaking, to say the least. I mean, there's not really any word or any kind of like phrase or anything that can put those feelings to it. So it's been just, I love everybody for it, and it's just been so wonderful. And speaking of which, I'm moving out of here in a couple of weeks, so
yeah, like it's not like a lot of people do, like exploit the community. It's like, oh, like I had unprotected sex and like I don't want to abort but I have to, or like I don't know, like fucking
yeah,
this dumb shit like, oh, I spend all my money from commissions and now people are expecting me to pay it back, but I can't be bothered doing the work. I need people to reimburse me and I don't want to get banned, send me money, or just dumb shit like that, like just impulsive.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like a lot of people do try to exploit that, but yeah, you had like 9 examples of sending out resumes, you got responses from 3, you've already looked into several apartments, some got denied, some accepted, you got to move in to your like roommate and all that blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's actually happening. It's not all a bunch of bullshit, because literally if he does not do what he says on the thing, then his life is just going to be suffering. Like he's not going to be happy that it's not happening.
Right. And I don't want to be part of this shit that I'm in right now anymore, and it's hindering me being who I want to be, and it's been a huge hindrance on me progressing in my life to a point where I want to be. And I was able to raise. I actually went over the amount that I was raising, and I was able to raise almost like $3,500, and it's happening. So while the big move is not happening for another couple of months until my the buddy that I'm getting a place with is ready, but I've taken all of that money and put it into savings and using what I need to get the stuff on my car, to get the trailer hitch and stuff, and get a U-Haul and all that stuff. Like I'm using the funds the way that they're supposed to, and making sure that I put that money to what it's meant to be put for. I don't want to, sit there and I'm not blowing it all on, commissions, or blowing it all on a fursuit or anything like that. Like I'm actually blowing it all on cocaine so that I can blow that later, or a fresh dick. So I'm putting it aside and using what I need to just for moving and getting out and getting all of that stuff together. So it's being put to good use so that everybody knows that.
Hey, how do you feel back when we were first starting out in our relationship and we needed to start a $3,000 GoFundMe, like initially when we had 3 days to move? 3 days in the winter.
I felt like shit.
Yeah. We moved into the shitty Cuckshack, the classic Cuckshack now. No heating, no shower, no utility. Literally, if we did not get renovations right then, we would die. And people complained that we spent the money on exactly that. We installed the heat pipes, we installed the shower and all that. That's the $3,000 gone. And then 6 months later, after we fully recovered financially and we're back on our feet, actually starting to save again, we decided to buy dogs then. People go, oh, you only got funding to buy dogs. Even though we're not going to pay any attention to the timeline. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, how completely bankrupt of empathy are you? To think that not only do you want people to produce you content on a daily basis for free, but they also need to not look after their own lives and actually be sustainable. Like, you're fucked in the head.
Yeah. So, and I saw pictures of the Cuckshack. You guys sent me all kinds of pictures. You had the handle, like you had to make the handle on the bathroom door, like it was a fucking, what was it, a broom handle or some shit like that?
No, it was a dildo.
It was a dildo.
That's right. It was a fucking
We shoved a dildo through the hole because it didn't have a doorknob. That's how fucked it was. There was no walls. We had to literally just glad wrap insulation to tin, just so we didn't freeze. There was mice
really
everywhere. It
bad.
was terrible.
It was really bad.
But we can't spend $3,000 on renovations. Like, no, you can't do that. We barely had internet. We had to get pylons and boosters and cut down trees just to get a signal. And people wonder why we're hard boiled at this point. Like, we've seen shit. And people's, oh yeah, you're spoiled. Like, you get it easy, no, dude. There's a reason why so few people get to that point. It's because you have to
try fucking opening up a box of crackers and eating from it and realizing that it's covered in mouse shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. Yep.
Like, that was life, and it fucking sucked.
There was no proper electricity, so the involvement of installing the oven is that they had to get an electrician in to actually install an electrical outlet that can support the ants, because anytime we try to cook, the power would go out. So we had to get a single portable
Hot plate.
stove,
Yeah,
hot plate,
yeah.
and just cook exclusively on that for over a year in a toaster.
I cooked some damn good meals on that thing, though. I was fucking creative with it.
You
at
have
least.
to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Griff, we did have the option to live with our parents again, but if you've heard anything about our parents, that is an absolutely no deal. they're insane. They're like insane. So we literally decided we'd rather suffer like that than live with you.
Yeah.
That's the extent we were like good to do that. But hey, we're like obviously at this point buying a house and all that, so
Yeah, man, I'm happy
Goes
for
to
you
show.
guys too.
it's good shit. Speaking of lack of empathy, do you want to talk about the dumb Twitter shit that happened on the first night of AC, the Pepper Cody shit?
Oh, boy.
Oh my god!
Do you like that segue?
We're gonna fucking. That was a nice segue.
Yeah.
We'll go from actually helping people, being productive in the community, donations, to complaining about being offended on Twitter. Yeah, that's a good use of time. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I'm gonna have some pretty fucking nasty things to
Go
say,
ahead.
so
Fuck it. It's
nah.
our podcast.
All right. So I guess I'll throw something out here. I watched the video finally. I hadn't seen it. I watched the one with subtitles because I really wanted to hear what was being said.
Well, yeah. Otherwise, you can't hear what I'm saying. It's how they framed it.
Right.
Particularly put it
And-
behind the head, so I didn't project. Anyway.
I did. The biggest thing that was like, you know, his viewpoint was coming at it like his whole thing was, you said that you want anybody that has anything to say to face you in public, and everybody's
Yes, yeah.
scared to face you in public, and he was acting like he was stepping up, but at the same time he wasn't
He didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't giving you the opportunity to really say anything. He kept talking over you. He kept interrupting, and it's like, look, man, if you really want someone's viewpoint and their opinions and stuff, and you are legitimately wanting to know, then let them talk, let them speak, and it.
That's not why he was there. He was there because he wanted to look cool in front of his little clique. Like, I'm not stupid. He the whole thing, even the liquid courage, you know, like spending 3 hours before he even got there drinking his ass off so he'd even could actually do it. That's why he was late. Because he literally brought his friends and a camera so that way he could go, look at me, I'm standing up to the big poppy fair in public, look at me. But really, are you? Because you're not even talking to them. You're interrupting them, you're yelling, you're needing like claps and cheers and a support group just to even be there. Are you really standing up to anything? Because it didn't sound like it.
It was just a publicity stunt.
Yeah, that's all it was. It was for fucking attention. I'm really disappointed in him. Like, I encourage people to do that because I actually want to learn something. So, oh, maybe these people, if they actually have integrity and a point, I might learn something. And that was the opposite. It's like, well, I, even more so now, don't want to support these people's beliefs.
Yep. But yeah, that was a nice clusterfuck, and I was upstairs. Rage, I had gone and picked Rage up from the airport and came back, and Rage and I were going up to his room and stuff. And
Oh yeah, that's when I first met Rage.
Yeah.
Holy shit,
That
when that
was-
was actually happening. Like, Rage just walked up to me. He's like, "Hey, Kate." I'm like, "Oh, hey, Rage. It's nice to meet you. So you want to sit down and watch this fucking disaster like transpire?"
I sent Kate a message on Discord. I was like, well, I think I may have texted you. I was like, hey, Rage and I are upstairs. We're putting the stuff in the room. We're waiting for an elevator. Where are you guys? And you're like, Jay's down here having an argument with it. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm on the way. I'll be there soon.
I particularly timed that, so Griff's going to intervene. I know Griff, he's too protective. I'm like, I gotta find a way where I can do this with Griff not there. So, oh, Griff's at the airport, perfect, midnight, let's do it.
Dude. I was getting ready. I was going down there. I was all bucked up. I was like, all right.
I knew you fucking
I was
would.
like, I came in there and I was like, I saw the camera and shit, and all that stuff, and I was like, you could see me in the video kind of like walk by, and I'm like slowly walking by, and I got the stare going on. I'm like looking, I'm like waiting. I'm just like, go ahead, fucking make a move.
No, I'm really glad that no one did intervene, because that means you guys have more integrity than they do. You have like moral high ground.
I let you handle it, because I knew that you were more than capable, and just I wasn't gonna get in it. I wasn't gonna do anything like that. So I mean,
like.
If you listen near the end of it, they even go like, "Oh, bring yours in. Let's make this a big scene." It's like, no, fuck off. I'm not stooping to your level. I'm not
like we were all sitting there. Jason's like entire group was just sitting there watching peacefully, like just sitting there and taking it in. We were not intervening at all, just watching. Yet he had like all of his lackeys there, just ganging up on him.
And a script. Like as soon as he walked up, he had a rehearsed script. It's like, yeah. Not dumb. Like that phone call, I don't believe that. That was way too rehearsed as well. Did you catch that big rip where like
someone's
calling.
I'm here with Jason. I'm FaceTime. Look, here he is. See, hi. Yeah, I saw that.
All right, see you later.
Yep, I saw that. So, yeah, that was. Oh man, I was kind of like, why do this, man? Why would you do this at a convention? Like, it's cool, it's understandable to have a conversation with somebody. You want to talk about standing up to people. I mean, it's fine to do that in private. I mean,
that pissed off. I was bullied as a kid, and that justifies my actions. Like, fuck off, dude.
It's like, dude, I was bullied as a fucking kid too, man.
So was I.
I had to change schools. I had my fucking arm snapped in half when I was a fucking kid because I got thrown off of a fucking sliding board. I mean, I was bullied too, man. I understand it, but it's like, there's no...
I'm pretty sure every single person in the furry community is literally bullied, because the point of being a furry is that you are ostracized from the normal social norm at some point. Yeah. It's like, hello. Yeah. That's the point. You're not special.
Look at those elevator lines, man. I'm sorry, I'm going to subjects.
They weren't even that bad. To be honest, like, I've seen worse. That was not a bad elevator con, like,
FWA is the worst.
I was impressed. Outside looking in, I walked into your guys' hotel. It was all civil, and it was like a digital display too for the elevator. I've never seen that before. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a lot worse based on everything you were saying before I got there. Well,
nah.
I was at like an off-strip hotel, so it was not bad.
I will give AC staff credit. Registration was quick. Elevators seemed pretty under control. Like, it wasn't disorderly.
I had a problem fucking... Yeah, fuck registration, man.
But to play devil's advocate, it is a bit corporate. Like, it's a bit
don't forget that Chicken Nugger's racist.
Meanwhile, they have fuck off Nazi furs on like half the fursuits at the con.
Yeah. Stupid.
That makes a lot of sense.
To be honest with you, like, I'm not gonna talk mad shit because I had a good time. Like, I had a really, really, really good time. But it wasn't because of con staff and the theme and all of that stuff. Like, it had nothing to do with that. The reason I had a good time was because of the people and everyone that was there. And I did have somebody, which completely made my con. I had one person, I think he was in fursuit, at the rave, like, turn around and saw my badge, and he pointed to me and he spoke to me for a second. He mentioned that he loved my music, and that was it, man. I was like,
I've been validated.
Holy fuck, like, somebody actually recognized me for my music, for what I do. And I was completely giddy and overwhelmed at that point. I was so happy. So
just so you watch 1 year from now, you'll be the new Jasonafex. Oh, look, it's Griff, the guy with the music everywhere.
Icky fucking sitting there DJing raves and stuff. Yeah.
Iggy Butt Brain, what you doing, man?
Iggy Butt Brain! You're always pocketing me lighters. Yeah, dude.
Oh god, how'd you feel when you wore my fursuit for the first time that one night?
I fucking loved it. Oh man, I loved it. It was so, but it was a little, I wouldn't say overwhelming, because I'll be honest, I did enjoy the attention, but not to sound like, egotistical, or not to sound like Jason, but anyway, so I did. I'm just kidding. I did enjoy it, but it was kind of hard because there were people that were coming up to me that wanted to, like, get a picture, and I couldn't see them.
Yeah, they asked for information that you didn't know.
Oh God, yeah. It was like, I couldn't figure out whether or not, because my Australian accent is not very good. And
Didn't you try it for like the first?
I tried it for like the first little bit. I tried to sound like you, and then I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna talk like me because this is not working well. And
Let's hear your best impression. Oh, Jasonafex, I love your work.
Fuck up.
Jasonafex, I love your work. What am I, Duke Nukem? Blow it out your ass.
Blow it out your ass, bitch.
I'm too busy spending my money and shitting down your neck.
Don't have time to play with myself. Yeah.
Oh shit! Speaking of which, Goldblum. Fucking.
Oh God.
Goldblum.
You dumbass.
Fucking Das bullshit at the con.
Oh, I mean,
fantastic guy.
Yeah, dude. He's great. Where is he? He should be here.
He's not in here.
Fucking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably doing
There's always the
something.
future. Bring him on for another episode. Fucking shows us the best hot tub in the whole fucking
Oh,
space.
fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, we had to go to a different hotel for that one, but that was nice. I enjoyed getting in the hot tub. I didn't think that was gonna happen. But he was a cool guy. I mean, everybody that I met, like, I have been watching Das Bullshit for like, oh, I don't know, fucking 4, 5, 6 years,
Probably more than
something
that.
like that. Probably longer than that. Yeah, ever since like the Idiot Box and all that stuff like came out, I've been watching that, and I've just my local friends and I were just love that stuff. And you were like, oh, Das Bullshit wants to meet up with us. I was like, wait a minute. And he's like, yeah, Gary's Mod, the Idiot Box. I was like, you're fucking kidding me. Oh my God, he's a furry? Yeah, he's a furry. I was blown away. And he was fucking cool as shit.
I was blown out my ass.
Blown out my ass. That's right. So it was nice meeting him, and of course meeting Chaz and all these.
I guess Koth, and I guess.
Gotham Tech.
Already.
Gotham Tech was fun. I mean, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys too. Like that was great. I literally had I don't think I had a bad experience with anybody that I met. Hell, we even had tacos with Jib Cody and Mosfet.
Jib. Great people.
Great people. Wonderful people, man. Just
There's a couple more in that group, but I just struggling to remember the names. But your childhood friend was there, Kate.
Yeah, Twitterloo.
Yeah. From the
God,
Lion King
she's
community.
so nice.
from the old Lion King community.
Let's not talk about that.
That's a dark
It's a
time.
throwback.
It's a bad time.
I guess she's lucky that we aren't doing a video of us in Cuckshack because we'd be throwing shit on screen.
That'd be too much work for me. I'm kind of liking the idea of like something I don't need to render like crazy.
Yeah.
Don't have to wiggle my fucking puppets around. 7 puppets. Fuck that.
Fucking plus going through and animating the finger to like reach across and poke people in the face and do the OK symbol.
I'll still do that for like one-on-one episodes, but shit like this, it will be nice to just kind of get people together more often because that way I can like have more uploads.
Yeah, and of course, after we go to cons and shit, doing an after con report like this is fucking great.
Yeah, it takes less prep. You just literally talk and that's it.
Dude,
Chaz,
go ahead. Sorry.
Chaz, you were stopped a few times based on your mask and stuff too, weren't you?
I was. It's pretty cool. I wasn't ready for it though. The first dude that walked up to me asked for a picture, and
I love your work. I know.
he didn't say anything. He just walked up. He's like, "Oh, hey, yeah, hey, man, I like your mask. Can we get a picture?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." He took the picture, and then as he's walking away, he like says over his shoulder, "Hey, I like your Twitter."
Yeah,
Hey, dude, can you sign my dick?
I don't know how to feel.
Can you sign it with
know?
your dick on my ass?
Like, I'm like, wow, okay, this is awesome. These people are recognizing me. I wasn't ready for this. That's really cool. It's that little, ego boost. You feel good about yourself. But then you think, you're like, oh, all these people have seen me naked. It's like, I don't know any of these people. And they know exactly what I look like.
Well, the question I have to ask,
the territory.
like the real question I have to ask to you is, how does it make you feel to know that these people that are like, I love your Twitter and all this other stuff have like fapped to your videos? Like, how does that make you feel?
It's weird, but it's not super weird, right? So everything that I put out is at least me wearing the mask, right?
Right.
So it isn't me fully. I can't. It's very hard to explain this.
It's like a third body thing.
It's
almost.
like a character, It's
Right.
not like I'm saying, oh, this is me, in another
did an act.
form or anything like that. It's just a costume. So it's it's at the minimum a mask that it's completely separate from who I am. There's as far as I know, no pictures online of what I actually look like.
We made sure that any pictures that we took of you, we don't post that.
Yeah, which is much appreciated. I like to keep the world separate because when people walk up to me and they say, "Hey, I like your videos," it doesn't really faze me. It's just okay. You probably jerked off to something I made, which I'm kind of used to it now. It was the first couple times.
Yeah, you desensitize to the anxiety after a while. Like
It's
we
the
had
same
that
with
first
us,
con,
too.
people's like, "Oh my god, Jasonafex, I've masturbated to this one."
That's what I was
sure.
going to talk
You see
about.
this one?
Like,
I've masturbated to this one.
the
sure-
first
I
con.
really
I'm
like
sure
this
people
one.
walk up to you guys and like, "Oh, I love this picture," and like they rip something from your gallery and they show you it, and
Yep.
I totally understand that.
Like I was saying, like the first con we ever went to, somebody came up to us and did that, and like he's like, "Oh yeah, jerked off to this one so much, and like I love this one, and this one like got me off like so fucking hard," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
You're like, oh, that was when you guys went up to the room and had an existential crisis. Like,
Yeah,
am I
that was our
supposed to-
Yeah.
first day. That was our
Wouldn't you?
first
That was the
fucking
trigger.
day.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Like, what am I doing here?
Yep.
You get desensitized there.
There's no way to.
I
prep
feel
for that.
like
There is no way to
Yep.
prep for that. It's out of the blue. It's not like your buddy can do it to you. It's just a random stranger you've never seen before. I can see that being weird.
it's weird. Like this, like third or so Anthrocon,
Yeah.
fourth.
Nice, but
Fourth,
weird.
yeah.
Something
like
like
walking
that.
around the dealer stand, like the really high population stuff like that. The anxiety levels is at a flat 0. Like I don't feel like tense at all.
Yeah.
It's weird.
What about there was they had the artist gallery and then they had like the art showcase, like the silent auction or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
the adult section.
the adult section. They had a lot of good stuff in there. They had a lot of good stuff.
There's an adult section.
There was an adult section.
You have to show your rage card.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you can't get in there.
Stock toy in the back.
Yeah.
They have like actual figurines and displays and like little like creations and all that back there. They have fursuits for sale,
Yeah.
all sorts of crazy shit.
Some of the little figurines, the custom ones, were amazing.
yeah.
They didn't have any of that at Anther New England just because it was so small. But there's tables full of stuff.
And they do sell too, like it's new
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
every year. Like
Yeah.
they don't recycle that shit. So.
So adult section figurines. So this is just like just furry characters with their dicks out. Like what do you?
There was a
Some of
Judy
them
and a
were?
Nick, like post-coitus on a little bed that you could
Yeah.
buy.
Oh, neat.
Some of them were in there just because it had gore. Like what was the somebody reenacted a scene from The Thing with
Yeah,
their
yeah,
It's like
you know,
a,
furry
it's like a Dead
characters.
Space scene.
And
It's
it's
like
like
a furry decapitated head with like spider legs coming
Yeah.
out, like
Oh,
jumping
wow.
on a dude.
But it was like this
flamethrowers and shit.
12 by 12 little plastic thing, and it had two characters in it. They had flamethrowers. Everything was modeled. I don't know what, out of clay. I didn't want to touch it, but it was in there because it was gore. Like that, it wasn't adult,
You know what I find weird is
nude,
that
I guess, but it was violent.
What do you find weird, Colin?
okay, so I didn't know there was an adult section. I figured there was, but then I saw there's like people who have all their doggies on display and they're like super provocative or suggestive, and that's just like out in public. I guess that's okay. It's like I don't know.
Yeah, the gray area is a bit weird. Like some need stickers on it, some you need to put away, some they just don't care.
Yeah. So how about rage? Guys,
What about it?
I'm so gone right now.
Oh yeah, fuck. I can't even count how many times I fucking heard that one over the weekend.
Guys,
I'm so fucking
gone
gone
right
right
now.
now.
Shay. I can't tell you how gone I am right now.
That was Saturday night, wasn't it? I don't even remember.
That was
I think it was Friday.
Yeah, it was
I think
Friday.
Friday.
It was Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
I had like 4 shots of that THC moonshine, and then I had a whole bunch
Black Dragon.
of... Oh my god.
Fucking, it was Black Dragon this time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was... Yeah. I hate to say it, but yes, I was gone. It was like a fucking 8-hour high. I mean, I remember sitting there at 3 a.m. I'm like, I'm still fucking gone. This has to end at some point. Oh my god. Then you guys are like, yeah, we're gonna head to bed now. I was still plastered. I was like, I hope I can make it down to my room. But yes, no, that was the longest time I've ever been just fucking high. Just 8 hours straight of just pure bliss.
Oh man, fucking Kate and I thought it would be a great idea before we played Cards Against Humanity Sunday night. Thought it would be a fucking great idea to. We had that bottle of Malibu that had like we popped the seal on it, and like she sat there and grabbed the bottle, and she's like, you know what? And she just started glug 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 glug, and I was like, all right, let's fucking do it. And I took the bottle from her and turned it up and glug 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 glug. We literally killed that whole bottle of Malibu in 10 minutes.
Oof, yeah, to the point of
bad.
begging for pretzels with your fucking...
I was like on my hands and knees with my mouth wide open, shaking my ass, begging for pretzels to be thrown into my mouth because I was so drunk.
You're turning people on, apparently.
Oh, God.
She pulled her fucking, she had her like pajamas on or thermals or whatever, and she pulled
All the way up to her neck.
Yeah. I looked
Play
retarded.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was fun.
No, you got a lot of compliments that kind of Kate, because this is the best you've looked health-wise for a long time.
Oh yeah, I lost like 30 pounds before going to Anthrocon, so I'm actually like a healthy, normal weight now. Like I've never not been overweight, so it feels nice to be average.
Like posture and gym and like general health and all that.
Yeah.
You're not falling apart anymore.
I'm not.
I like the weave shit you had going on in your
Oh,
hair, the curls.
yeah.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then after the con, you went straight to the hospital.
Oh. Yeah. Do we really want to talk about that?
Well, do you? You're the.
So basically, before we went to Anthrocon, I had noticed that I was bleeding from places I should not be, and I decided that it would be best for me to go to the emerge and get checked out and find out if I was like going to be able to go to the con or not. So I went with Jay, and I was in the hospital for like how long? 14 hours or something like that.
Long-ass time.
A long time. And they're like, well, we don't see any signs of a UTI, but we're going to treat you for that anyways. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's see if this works. So I took the antibiotics. The antibiotics just made everything worse. I was like still bleeding from like my pisser and fucking shitting my brains out.
I think the only reason you even made it through AC and had a good time is because you were high on perk the whole time.
Yeah, because the pain was so fucking bad. And
I'm glad I had those Percocets, like for real.
oh yeah, like seriously, saved the fucking con, because when we ran out of them, it fucking came back like a freight train. We were leaving the zoo, and that's when I started to get the really, really, really severe pain. And I thought I just like really, really had to go to the bathroom. But I went to the bathroom as soon as we got out of the Uber, and I'm like, okay, you know, nothing's coming out. I don't know what's going on, but this really fucking hurts. And so like I'm pacing in circles in the fucking family restroom, like not knowing what the fuck I'm like gonna do. Like, should I book another night and stay and ride it out? Or should we just make the drive back to Canada, like a fucking 5-hour drive? So we eventually bucked up, and I just said, okay, Jay, you're gonna have to drive back. And it sucked. It really sucked. I got home and immediately went to the hospital in Canada and found out that I had a kidney stone that I would not pass on my own, and so I had to get surgery, I think around like a week ago now, to get it removed, and that sucked. I would not recommend getting a kidney stone.
Yeah.
Like 3 to 4 hospital visits in the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah,
2 weeks, it was
it's
not fun.
good.
And then as soon as like we got back from the operation and we're about to go to bed, starting to wind down and feel good again, like, Jay, we need to go to hospital again. Kill me. Please kill me. I can't do life anymore.
Yeah, it was bad.
That was the peak when people were trying to like fucking take down our patrons and be assholes at the same time, because they're such fantastic people that they wait until that you're at your most vulnerable moment to like strike.
Yeah.
You're great people. So yeah, that's going on at the same time Caitlin's fucking suffering.
But I got through it, so.
Yeah. Came out
Fuck.
on the other side, and everything's golden.
Yep. I'm pretty happy.
Speaking of those assholes, they even dug up shit on me. I'm not even part of the community. They're just like, who's
Really?
this tech guy? And some guys like fucking dump my Twitter. Like, oh, I found a tweet from Koth about him doing a stream with this guy. I think they found the tweet when we were doing the stream to actually fund the trip. They're just like,
Oh,
oh,
right.
well, I found his Twitter, and then just like dumps fucking everything on me.
The fuck?
Well, it did feel good because that like the one picture I had on there of myself was like at Trump's inauguration. I've lost a lot of weight since then. I'm like, yeah, just fucking jokes on you. I feel
Of course they
great.
would. It's like, oh look, he's connected to Trump, therefore he's connected to the right, therefore he's connected to the alt-right, therefore he's a Nazi. I knew it. They're all Nazis.
Illuminati.
Pretty much.
I've got this all figured out.
It's so funny too because so many of them they seem to like just have that general like furries attitude, but half the people in that thing have furry avatars. So I'm like, you're furries yourselves, you dumb fucks.
Are you talking
Yeah, they're all
about
hypocrites.
Kiwi farms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like half you guys are furries. What the fuck are you just pulling that? It's a furry. Like, yeah, it's you.
They're not very good at their little investigations or trying to remain anonymous. There's shit on my Kiwi farms of like stuff that was private conversations I had with people. It's like, oh, all right, I know who that person is. Trying to remain anonymous on the site, but then they put that up. It's like, all right, fucking idiot.
See, the thing is with that kind of shit, like everyone with half a brain knows that there's no citation involved, so the only way that survives is via attention. So just don't even look at that shit. It's this stupid. It's no better than like Encyclopedia Dramatica or any place where you can just upload anything and people will buy it.
Yeah, with some people though, they take that shit as like fact. They're like,
Yeah, of course they do.
they're like, well, I read this about. I don't know this person, but I read this about them on Kiwi farms. It's like, why are you looking there for information? That's your go-to place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I get.
like you look at their standard stuff at that site and you don't have any skepticism. Like, no, this is the actual like depiction of the world. This is right.
Say I got the most hate while hanging out with you guys. It was the weirdest thing. Like I lost a friend of 8-9 years because he said the only reason why I was hanging out with you two because I was fucking Kate. I'm like,
Yep.
I'm like, dude.
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag. That's going to keep me fun.
Oh well, there we go. Now
Damn. I was trying to hold that down.
I'm like, literally, dude, no, that's not the reason why I'm here. I'm here to have a good time, meet them, get to know them. He's like, no, that can't be. The only reason why you'd be there is because you're fucking Kate. There'd be no other fucking reason to hang out with you. You're just slime. I'm like, whatever.
It just sounds like projection. It's like, oh, I can't see the world under any other lens besides my own, therefore everyone else is bad as me.
Yeah, it's pretty much. It's really sad.
Because I know people that have gone to cons just to fuck, and then when that doesn't like fulfill, they get really upset and pissy and resentful. So it sounds like this guy is just resentful from the get-go. And now that because he doesn't get to go and you get to hang out with the people that he can't muster up the energy to meet and talk to himself, he's now demonizing you.
No, he has something against you guys too. And he's like, oh, you guys are, use people, you don't come through with all your commissions. And I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever. You can hear all the shit you want to hear, but that's not what I see.
Who are you trying to swindle? Who are you trying to swindle?
Look who the fucking rag dragged in.
Look who the fucking rag dragged in.
Hey, you didn't go to AC, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Well, no, because I don't want to get swindled.
So, Rags, do you have any general input on Anthrocon that you'd like to add in here?
Yeah, I really like the.
Oh, and turn up your microphone like 30%.
I really like the lighting.
Yeah.
I thought it was efficient. I thought it wasn't too bright without being intimate or romantic, because you know how furries
was
are.
lovely.
The weather was nice. Thought the weather was.
What was your opinion on Saturday?
My opinion on Saturday was it was one of the
In
best.
comparison to Friday and Sunday, you know what I mean?
Well, Saturday was the Sabbath, which is a holy day, which of course is very, very important whenever you're out, in your costume and you're doing your thing. It's always important that when you're meeting and greeting new people, that you remember to stop every once in a while and remember to give thanks to the Lord for all that
Of
he has
course.
given you, all your friends and fellowship, and everyone around you at the furry convention. That you get home safely,
I agree.
and you don't end up going to hell
Amen.
for your degeneracy.
Do you think there are Christian furry conventions?
Maybe local meets.
Genesius could start one.
Genesius.
I mean, there's like groups. There's Christian furry groups on FA and stuff. I don't see why there wouldn't be.
I think that a lot of people, they get in, they learn about the furry stuff, but they're still, like younger, and they're still Christian, and they're, I wonder if they have like these weird moments where they're like, oh, this is weird, like I believe in God and the Bible and all that stuff, but I'm also like a furry. And how do
degenerate?
how do I balance those things? How do I
praise to the Lord, but also youth in hell?
My PB gets hard when I look at this dragon. I don't understand.
It's like, how do I justify jerking it to furry foxboy porn, and then at the same time,
Them boys.
be able to sit, in the pews every Sunday next to mommy and dad, and like sing songs and praising Jesus, knowing that when I get home, I'm gonna bust a fat nut to some gorgeous big-titted vor porn.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Do you think Noah was a furry because of all the animals that he had to collect for his little cruise?
I think that the
What was
like
that?
ancient Hebrews were pretty into fucking animals. Cat.
Are we being shushed? Are you censoring me?
hey! I crop dusted Rage.
No, you didn't.
I did. I fucking
Yeah.
did.
It happened.
He did. He so got you. Did. That was the
Oh,
best.
Jason was in on that too, because I have to crop dust somebody at a fucking convention. Like that's my MO. So I'm up there and we're all sitting on the floor, and I was like, Jason, dude, I got to fart. I'm gonna walk by Rage, and Rage was looking over at Chaz, and I stood up and I walked by. And as I got there, Jason goes, "Hey, Rage!" And Rage turns over and looks as I'm walking by him, and I just brap right this fucking.
It was the most innocent, like, broad smile I've ever seen for him. Like, there was a sparkle in his eye. I was going to say something so engaging to Rage, and then just brap.
right in his fucking face. You walked.
Oh god. Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah,
glad I'm
man.
loved.
Dude, that's fine. I farted on Kate too, I think, at one point.
Did you? I don't remember
I
that.
did. You were sitting on the bed.
She doesn't remember because you have little girly farts.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just kidding. Girls don't fart.
Oh, they do.
No, they have to pee. Only have to pee twice a week.
Okay.
They only have to piss out blood and kidney stones.
Yeah, boy.
Fart. Never mind.
They call it. Is that what they call grinding?
Oh.
Did you get to keep it? Do you have it? Is it in like a little bottle on your shelf?
Oh, we hoped
No,
we're
they-
gonna like put it on a ring or like on a necklace. Or
I
something,
have
but
Did
the
you make it the wedding
stem.
band like I said a couple weeks ago?
I do.
No, I didn't, but I should because I still have the stent. So.
I calcium salt you too.
Oh my god. But no, I don't have it. They blasted it apart, so I just kind of had to pee out the fragments, and that really fucking sucked.
You didn't
like that
piss
hurt.
into your hand?
No, I didn't piss into my hand.
I'm panning for gold.
You should have got a sifter.
Well, that was a keeper.
When I had
a little wire screen. Like, we struck gold.
when I had my kidney stone, they gave me a little filter thing so I could pee it out and keep it, and here it is, right in this little jar.
Hooray!
He actually peed it out.
They gave me like a filter as well, but I went through them because they were paper, so they only gave me 2.
Did you ever?
They did not last.
They only gave me
Tech, do you have
you're supposed to pee twice a week.
Tech, do you have a cat? I'm like hearing like very
Yes.
simple, like innocent meow.
Yes, I do. I can't. If I kept her out, you'd hear fucking screaming.
So it's always the big macho guy with a huge beard and this like intimidating plush of the tiniest like pathetic animal.
Hey, I
That's
have
pathetic. I like cats. I like hairless cats. I want one.
Sphinx cats or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might get the there's another one that like still has a little bit of hair on it, so that you don't need to like bathe them all the time. But I can't remember what they're called, like a Cornish Rex or something. I'm probably wrong, but oh man, I want one. Jay, we should get one.
Well, we're possibly going to be breeding more Shiba Inu soon with Nay's
Oh
female
yeah,
sheep.
yeah.
What?
You what?
Nayli has a Shiba Inu that is not spayed, and
Horny
we have
as
a Shiba
shit.
Inu who is. Well, yeah, I would assume so. I mean, he's
That would be a sheep.
never had the chance.
You know how
so-
they are.
Our female sheep is spayed, so they just don't do it. They like operate on like the smell of like period, I guess.
The smell
Dog
of period.
And if that doesn't go on, they're just not interested. So
They were
maybe
going
it keeps
insane
around.
on that kidney stone smell.
Oh God,
Oh my
gross.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we're gonna like, I guess, try to breed them, and then Shiba Inu puppies, 4 of them, yay!
I love sheaves.
They're adorable. They're sleeping on our couch right now.
What else happened at fucking AC that we can slip into here?
Fucking.
No fucking, actually.
Nope.
No one fuck. Well, besides
No.
Chaz.
Which I-
But that was a paycheck, so that doesn't
That
that's
was a
classified.
That was a what?
A paycheck. It's a long story. You should have been here for the first 3 quarters.
Somebody, one of my friends was like, "You're gonna get your fursuit, and then you're gonna show up at a con." And Chad's gonna be like, "Hey, dude, come hang out later." And I'm like, "Okay." And I'll come up there, there's gonna be fucking lights set up and shit. And I'm in my fursuit. I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Damn. Exposed.
Exposed.
He leans over, turns on your music. I like this one, Griff. This is your best work.
Hand
You wanna
on
see my
thigh.
best
Oh,
work?
it's over.
I'm gonna be like, all right, no, hey, let's put this one on. There we go. That's the best one to fuck to.
Oh my god.
Wait, this one doesn't quite match the tempo. Let me switch it.
I've got a song. I'll make a song that has a tempo that changes.
Oh,
so
no.
that you can fuck to it. Don't worry, the climax is coming.
There was one thing that I thought was kind of strange, and I don't want to talk
What?
shit about anyone, but like when I was in line for getting the entry, there was this one person in their fursuit just kind of like hanging out by the line, just standing there, and I couldn't figure out why. And I think they just wanted to be noticed, just like
Sounds about right.
chilling by the line. So that was a little strange.
Oh, I hate that. Like, I hate when you're stuck somewhere, like a line or in a restaurant, and someone comes up and like just starts this conversation with you without your permission. Some random person.
You're
You
like,
just,
really? I
can't
do not
leave.
consent.
No, it was just like I don't know if they were like lonely or just didn't have anywhere else to be, but they're just kind of hanging out in that line
They're
Or
at
not-
AC. Of course, they don't have anywhere else
for
to
like 2 hours, just observing the people in the line.
I mean, like, if you're on your own at a convention and you don't know really the primer to get in with like people, like, where do you go? Like to panels or like?
I don't know. That's what I was saying. Like I'm pretty sure I would have had a miserable time if it weren't for you guys.
I mean, you would go to panels, and you know, just when you're standing in line and stuff, if people are having conversation about something that you know you feel like you could contribute a valuable part of it, you know, just chime in and yeah, you know, like somebody's talking about video games or something like that. I mean, that's kind of how I met some people at FWA, like first starting out. You know, I just kind of chimed in on some conversations, or you know.
I
people-
find that the best way to meet people is actually the same way to meet people really well online is dealer stand and commissions. Like, just go up and buy something, because that's the most natural way that you can just hold a conversation with someone you respect.
Or
And if you kind of catch them a bit, you get invited out to a dinner or something. Then you suddenly meet 20 people, and then you have ways to meet another. Like, it just explodes from there. So just participate in the economy of the community is the easiest way, in my opinion. Be involved in some capacity that's respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just, you know, I know that a lot of people struggle with social awkwardness and stuff, but I mean, if you stay in your bubble and sit over in the corner, I mean, nobody's gonna talk to you. So
Yeah,
just
it's not on them to comfort you. You have to make the step and put yourself out of your comfort, so that way you can be in the future.
Yeah.
Like, you have to make that uncomfortable step. I didn't enjoy my first con, but now I love them. Now I can't live without them. You just have to make the plunge.
Yep. You have to make the plunge.
Pretty much everyone there is just as socially awkward anyway.
Oh man, fucking amazing.
They're all equally as likely to break your toilet.
Oh my gosh.
What kind of shits you people taking?
That's drag and dumps.
Well, listen.
Drag and dump.
When you're driving in a car, it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive.
You weren't driving shit. You were sitting there.
Yeah, sitting in the car and then just kind of feeling nervous. I don't know. It's just
Well, you're just
like,
kind of sitting there, digesting your feelings.
Yeah, digesting
Maybe
your feelings.
digesting
Just
a little bit more than you feel.
Just like 2 days of anxiety, and you store up a pretty hefty load.
I get it. Like I used to get the anxiety shits all the time.
Anxiety
back in the
shits.
day.
Call them the tickle
Yeah.
shits.
I got the stress poops.
Yeah.
But I think overall, as far as, because I've only been to 2 FurCons so far, FWA and AC, I would have to say that I love FWA a lot more.
FWA is great, yeah.
FWA
It's
was
much more warm and like party. I feel like you can go anywhere at FWA and have a good time, kind of deal. Like I had a good time in line. That's crazy. Like I got to the front and this guy was like juggling posters and doing a sales pitch, and I left with a fucking huge smile on my face, like I was 8. Yeah, I was in line for fucking 3 hours. You know, like that's just kind of the atmosphere they give me. Whereas AC, it's like, you shouldn't have jokes on your registration badge, you dumb cunt. You can offend someone.
Yeah,
I was literally at FWA walking around the fucking lobby with a handle of liquor, and nobody said anything to me. I'm pretty sure I would have been flagged down for that at AC.
got yelled at by the line Nazis. There was a guy there who
The line Nazis?
Yeah, when you go
Yeah.
So when you first went into the building at AC, there was a guy, some old guy sitting there on a chair yelling at everybody. Like, if you don't have a badge, go upstairs to get a badge. If you do have a badge, you can come on upstairs. Like, wait a second.
The Nazis were really they really focused on people wearing badges too. That's true.
Oh my god!
So that does make sense. I
Are all
understand
the
the
line
terminology.
Nazis trying to get up to the 9th Reich so they can sleep?
So the line Nazi yelling at us, if you don't have a badge, go upstairs. If you do have a badge, go upstairs. I'm just thinking, why are you here?
Just let people roam, man. If you have questions, they'll come talk to you.
We put up a sign, it'll do the same job. Go upstairs. The convention is upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, like other conventions have it more figured out. Like MFF is technically the bigger convention, and like it has its shit way more together than Anthrocon ever will. And it's like,
It's like
yeah,
this place
it's just
is run by a bunch
depressing.
of furries.
Oh
What
yeah.
about us?
Yeah,
What about us getting
yeah.
stuck in the fucking elevator?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah!
That
Oh
was
my
a little
god!
scary.
That fucking sucked.
I was in Jason's fursuit, and we were stuck in that elevator, and the elevator started like
Fuck, I was in first.
banging and shit. It fucking like was going down the floors. We didn't
Banging
press
in
it.
Jason's fursuit.
And I was
I
in
was there
Jason.
too.
I was in the
We
virgin's
all would have
fursuit.
died in fursuit. That would have been great.
I was fucking. I started getting a little claustrophobic. I was like, oh no, oh god, what's gonna happen? We ended up going down to the 2nd level parking garage, and I was like, dude, where do we go? So
Yeah.
lost.
Is either be lost, go back up on the elevator and risk that, or just be lost.
Dude, I was like, I'll fucking walk out in the street, find my way, and luckily it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was hot outside, but it wasn't as hot. And I'll have to say, man, I will say this though, like at Anthrocon, more of the public places, like the eateries and all the restaurants and like stores and stuff like that, participate in Anthrocon.
Yeah.
Like they have deals and stuff. Like Starbucks had the Furrycino or what it was, or whatever it was. They have all this stuff and they celebrate Anthrocon because I guess the touristy attraction. But
It's huge for the economy there, yeah. Like they
It's
generate
because the
a couple
fucking
of
city
million.
has nothing else when like there isn't Anthrocon going on. Like
It's
what
like a
else do
tourist
they
staple,
have?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
if you get too far from the convention. But when we were going to dinner, we were trying to find a place that wasn't crowded, and we walked for, I don't know, like half a mile. We started getting so far away from the convention center that we like got to a point where people were like glaring at us. We're like, all right, I think we've
Yeah.
gone a little bit
That's
too
right.
far.
Once they start calling you the
That's
hot
right.
topic group, that's when you turn around and go back to the
Yeah, all right,
like,
let's go
yeah,
back to the...
I'm straying away from the safe zone here. I think I'm in the enemy lines. I need to
There was
walk back.
It was a street vendor. Street with trucks on it. And yeah, there was no fursuits around. I remember making the comment like, I think we've gone too far. Stop.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Toto. So yeah, but I did like the atmosphere of everyone else around, all of the other people. Like they had that street festival going on and all kinds of other shit. And it was
They had a little concert going on too, with like gay pride flags and all that. It was they were really like capturing the spirit, being a Yif Lord.
The If Lord.
Yif Lord. No,
Once you
but
meet 20 asses, you can ascend to the next rank of Yif Lord.
yeah. Oh, when we were up at the party with Rain, Sunday night, and we got to witness I got to hold that $15,000 camera. Shoots.
Oh, that was crazy. What's it called? That like at every convention, that like the Asian
photo booth.
The Asian photo booth.
Dude, those guys are
That's
cool though.
offensive.
Like I like them a lot. I had a conversation with them. Like they're cool guys. Like
I was
cool.
intimidated touching that camera. Like, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna break it.
Here, you want to hold it? They put it in my hands. Like I didn't even. It wasn't even consensual. It was like, here, you want to hold it? And they just handed it to me. And I'm like,
When it comes
this
to
is
Asians,
really
consent isn't
cool.
blind.
Here you go. Take it back. Thank you. So
I feel like that camera could make a 5 out of 10 look like an 8 out of 10.
that
That's why
camera
people
could
buy
make a
'em.
5 out of 10 look like a fucking 20 out of 10. So, but yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that party. I get to meet Strobes. Strobes was pretty cool. He's a cool
I
guy.
enjoyed eating Soki's cookies. Like I
Oh
pretty
my-
sure I ate half of them
Is that a
myself.
euphemism?
Fucking God, Stokey's cookies. She got them from a friend.
Yeah, they're not her cookies per se, but she was pandering them out. Yeah.
She was
So
just
they were
pandering
hers by
cookies.
association. They were good. They were fucking good. Dank ass cookies.
Oh my, well, you're not getting attention, now you're getting all jealous. Let's go down the list on the chat, one by one, and let's mention our favorite moments of the con. We'll leave the little podcast on a high note, starting with you.
Oh.
Your favorite part of the weekend, so don't focus on your kidney stone, your drama, or your dumb woman bullshit.
I really liked Sunday night and getting really drunk with Griff and playing Cards Against Humanity. That was really fun.
Oh, I loved it too.
That was a good time. I think that's my highlight. Yeah.
Alright, Chaz, what about you besides the porn?
Ooh, it's gonna be tough to top. No, I'll be selfish. It was, I mentioned before, it was the people actually walking up to me saying hi. I wasn't expecting people to really recognize me, but I said they were kind of weird before. No, I was smiling behind the mask. It was pretty cool to see. Was not ready for that. Not ready.
Well, don't smile too much because then your eyes close. How about you, Griff?
Other than the person that mentioned the fact that they had listened to my music before and they loved it, that was a really big highlight. But I would definitely have to say, that like hanging out in the room, just really soaking up, having a good time,
Cuddling Kobe's Dacky.
and drinking Rumplements with Chaz and Rage and Kate, and it's really hard for me to say that I had a favorite moment, because spending time with all the people that I met and hanging out with people that I already knew, and just spending time with everyone, and just it was. That to me was well worth the 20 hours of driving and all the money spent and all that stuff. It was well worth it. And just all the positive feedback and the love and stuff that I felt from everyone. It was
Faggot.
worth it. Yeah, I'll fucking own it too.
Sentimental jerk. I would say what sold me was when I finally got my full fursuit and we were randomly going around taking pictures, all that jazz. And then we had a bit of a quiet spill where we got a little bit lost. We ended up on the street, and then as soon as we hit the street, not only did we catch up with our friends we hadn't seen to that point, but a random ass bus pulled up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
One kid walked out, gave me a hug, took a picture, got back on the bus and left.
Yeah.
It was
That's adorable.
so out of the blue and so like sweet.
I have a picture of that
Like,
actually.
Yeah, like this kid obviously saw a dinosaur. I was like, look, dinosaur, I need to fucking get a picture with that fucking dinosaur. Get off the bus. He did so.
Mom.
I'm
It's a dinosaur.
contributing to society. I'm appealing to the normies. I'm doing it. That was mine. What about you, Rage?
I would say it's more or less putting, faces to the names and, getting that.
What?
Yeah, and getting a realization that, you're not the only person out there that feels this way. It's a different feeling, like I said, I was in the fandom for 14 years. And, you always like, I'm the freak. Nobody, thinks the same way I do. Nobody likes the same things I do. And it's just, you get that state of mind in your head, and then suddenly, you get to a place where there's thousands of people that are into the same thing you are, that want to talk to you about the same things you want to talk about. It's just really surreal. And,
People who are equally as weird.
yeah,
You just want to fuck animals like everyone else.
Not thanks, Rage. I mean, Riggs.
You just called him yourself?
That is called myself, yeah. But no, that was probably my favorite thing. Being around, other people that, think the same way you do. It's different.
Around other alt-right Nazis, really makes you fit in.
Basically,
How about you, Carl?
I'm gonna have to agree with Icky and basically just hanging out in the hotel room with you guys because I was so worried that it was gonna be like, I had been talking to you for a couple of weeks beforehand, like, yeah, let's hang out at AC, and I was so worried that you were just gonna totally like ditch me and not even make an effort to hang out at all. But then you were like super on top of it, like asking me where I was and stuff so we could meet up as soon as possible, and then just like let me hang out in your hotel room and just talking to everyone, and that was a really good experience.
Good. Rags, you want to make up some bullshit?
Yeah, I really like the part where we all went into the hotel room and we all took our clothes off and got in a line and we played Naked Twister. It was
Naked
really
Twister,
great.
yeah.
I had no idea
Yeah.
you could be so limber.
I changed my mind. That
That
was
was my
my
number
favorite
two.
part too.
That's a solid second for me. What about you, Tech?
I enjoyed walking around with my little GoPro and filming fucking Griffin dressed up as you.
I gotta see that. I want to see that.
Yeah,
We
me
haven't
too.
shared that footage yet. That's confidential.
Fuck yeah, I mean, Koff has a copy of it. I was wondering if he was going to do anything with it for his channel, but apparently not. Apparently just a video on Nazi furs.
Okay. I can give you guys the footage if you want. The thing is that Tech has an awful sense of like when to turn the camera on and when to turn it off. So
That
it's
was
like, that wasn't
Is it
me.
like-
I wasn't in charge of my own camera. So like we
Was
have
it 90% like elevated like footage? Or something?
yeah, it's like
well, there's that.
2 or 3 hours of just us talking in the hotel room and in the elevator, and almost nothing of walking around in the actual convention space. Oh, and like 2 or 3 hours of just sitting in the car driving there too. So thanks.
That's
Like,
'cause
A real
I had to
amateur
look through all
documentary.
that.
In my defense, that was mostly due to dead batteries. Like, things only last like an hour or something before they just die, and I only had 5 of them, so...
Yeah.
So you actually made it onto a Cuckshack episode. What do you have to say?
I enjoyed the brap contest that me and Kate had. That was probably the most fun part of AC.
Yeah.
Who won? that
Changed my
exchange,
mind
would you
again.
say?
That was my favorite part as well. I just can't make up my mind.
You haven't been to a convention yet, have you, Zaxi?
Nope.
There you go. Huh?
I'm gonna go to MFF, hopefully.
Well, there you go.
Oh shit.
We'll have even more people to tell stories next time in a few months.
Is that what
Oh.
we're calling it then?
Yeah, we'll call it there. All right. Thank you, everyone. Watching Cuckshack next episode.
Eat my ass. Bye.
Eat my ass. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeet.